Hi everyone. Hi. So, first of all, huge, massive insert adjective here news. As you can see, there is a change in background because the things I said in, I don't know, 3 videos ago or something finally arrived. It took like a month at least. Maybe not, maybe around a month, but took a long time and finally they're here. And Chromie is really big, so should get out of the way right now. So as you can see, this is just the like play mat for the game, for Pokemon. I don't actually play the game, with the cards and all of that, but uh, this was too cute to not have it. And you know how much I love Chandelure, so it was, I had to take it, and this thing is also like Japanese exclusive, right? And so, there are written in English and stuff, but you can only take it from Japan, kind of, or for someone that took it from Japan or in here or in another place. And so that's why it took so long because I had to order it all the way from over there. And I got the other stuff too, but just this is the most relevant here because maybe I don't know, maybe I'll just use this as a background every single time now, or sometime, or never. I don't know. But the thing that's kind of crazy is that I want to talk about a specific topic today, right? That I got the idea from like last night at 3 a.m., but it doesn't matter. So really want to talk about this topic, and then I heard the I swear the courier was home, and I got the package and all of that, and I figured it lines up perfectly, like in the best way possible, to the topic that I wanted to talk about. So there, Chromie back. So what is today's topic? Today's topic is money, right? And in general, I've been explaining what money is and why is it so like bad in a sense, and why people think like treat it in a like the worst way possible, right? And this thing lines up perfectly with the topic because I guess I could just explain now. To me, money is basically a physical, a one, non D, one physical form of happiness, right? Of happiness, of pleasure, of you know entertainment, and all of that, right? So money is what allows you to get entertainment and get uh, things that you like and get, you can say fun. You can buy fun. And I spend money on this, right? I spend my money on this thing here. And I feel like this is the entire point that people are missing. Money should be exclusively treated like this. This to me is happiness and is like, I love this thing and so I bought it. And to me, the money I spent is absolutely worth it because money isn't anything else. It's simply happiness in a physical form. So if I use it for anything else, then I'm treating money as something else and something that is, you could say, uh, like not unique on its. How do you say this? Like, it's its own thing, right? And it should never be like this. So, uh, and the point people will make obviously is that, well, but how you going to survive? Obviously, you need money to survive in this world, in today's world, in every world ever, right? In every point in history on Earth, you needed money to survive. And and that's true. Obviously, I'm not gonna here to be here to negate that, but um, that being true doesn't mean that it's good and doesn't mean that it's right, you know. And I'm not gonna be here and tell you that we should completely abolish money for survival purposes, right? Because while that's, good and logical and all of that, it's unfortunately not possible, right? And it's a shame, obviously. And what this effectively means, though, is that instead of money being exclusively for entertainment and fun and all of that, you just need to reserve a part of it for survival, right? For food and house and heat and electricity and all that, right? So after that, that's it. That's the only thing you have to spend money on, and that's the only thing that is like sort of objective. By the way, it's not actually that objective. You can absolutely not spend money on your survival in the sense that you can live on like €2 a day on food somehow. If you manage to do it, if you starve yourself, if you don't eat a lot, then yeah, you can do it. But and this is related to the free will video. You can absolutely do that. You are free to do it. Are you going to starve? Are you going to be really hungry? Yes. So for 99.9999% of people, that's not going to be a good idea, right? But it not being a good idea doesn't mean that it's not possible to do it, you know? If for whatever reason you really, really, really need money for something, and you say, okay, I'm willing to like eat way less for a week to afford this because I really love it, and you thought about it and you're mature, of course, and you're smart and all of that, then I'm gonna tell you, then sure, go for it. I don't you've given me your reasoning for it. You say you can take it. You say you can take the anger, for example, or something else. So yeah, go ahead and do it. And is it the responsible choice? No. Is it the optimal choice? No. Is it like impossible? An impossible choice? No. It's you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And uh I feel like what I said right now is about it being exclusively happiness and fun and all of that, excluding the necessary things you have to buy and all of that, is really important because you've heard multiple times, definitely, how money is power, right? Money is power, and money is control, and uh, being rich allows you to pay for stuff and having control of what happens around you. That is so incredibly wrong. That's so stupid and wrong, and all of the bad adjectives possible. Uh, Simply because it's kind of everything that's wrong with money, when you when you know and I guess the fact that that you need money to survive is also guilty of this, because you know we are animals too, right? And if we need to survive, then we're going to go as far as steal money and steal valuable things and kill for money and all that, and hurt people for money, and do morally wrong stuff for money, right? But what year is this? 2026, right? I there's a lot of poor people in the world, and that's awful and all of that. But in the countries where this is the most like present, where people want money for power and all of that, there isn't really like an economic, you massive problem where everyone is starving and there's only few rich people, like it's the fucking 1700s, right? It's not the medieval times anymore. It's not fucking 1600, where 99% of the population will starve, and they will like um, farm the land, and then the 1% were rich and controlled everyone, and the nobles and all that, right? It's not that time anymore. So we definitely, absolutely have more than enough resources for everyone, at least in those countries, you could say, for everyone to live comfortably, to survive at least. And so the survival problem is not here suddenly anymore. Like we have the resources to let anyone survive. So there is no need to fight for survival anymore. So the only other reason why people fight for money and do morally wrong stuff for money and all that is power and like people giving way too much importance to um, materialist, physical things, and this thing about caring too much about physical things is is not really like related at all with survival and all of that. I genuinely could not tell you why people care so much about it. Maybe it is a far branch of the whole survival thing, because like uh, the idea is if you live better, you have a higher chance of survival. So then it gets to a point where you want to live better because it's good, but suddenly there is no like real good advantage to you because you're already surviving, well enough. So it's kind of this thing where you do it because the rule is good, but you're already there. Like it's like saying you have 100 in every single test ever, and you get 100 in a test, but you restudy because studying is good, right? Sure, studying is good, but it's useless. You can't do better than that. You can't do you can it doesn't matter what score you get the next time. You want to retake a test where you took 100 in. That's really stupid, and that's the whole idea of having money, having enough money to survive, having enough money to live like very comfortably, and still wanting more money, still wanting to be rich, still wanting to want more always. And I feel like what I said really lines up to what actually happens, because you have millionaires and billionaires that still want more money. So, that lines up, right? You have more than enough. You have definitely way more than enough, and yet you still want more. And and if uh, if money is this, if money is this, is money is this, uh, getting a plushie that you love and that you will spend so much time with, then it's okay, Uh, I could honestly make a point that money is not even needed anymore. Money was probably needed in the past, where people were just dumber and that and less knowledge and less technology and all of that. And what money is essentially is it gives you an universal value system. So uh, instead of saying, well, I have three fucking uh, three pig something legs, and I have two cow legs, like, are they equal? Are they are they equally valuable? I don't know. So you set a price to them, right? And then you see, okay, one pig leg is 10 and one cow leg is 20. So no, they're not equal. The two cow legs are worth more than the three pig legs, This is for the past, obviously. And so setting a price to things and having money is really convenient and really useful, right? In general. today, because there's no need to, to survival and all of that, money itself is not really needed anymore. It is still really useful. I will admit that, obviously, because okay, let's say that we live in an ideal reality where basically you want food, right? You want to live, you want a house, you just have it. Like, you don't have to pay for stuff. You can have one house, you can have, you, you can go to the grocery store and get what kind of whatever you want. And of course, this is based off people being really, really, really mature and really, really morally correct. Because if today you go to a supermarket and as to a grocery store and everything is free, then that store is going to be empty in 20 minutes. And a lot of food is going to be wasted also. So you're going to have a few people that got everything, and it also will inevitably throw out some food because it went bad, because it was way too much, right? So you need to have morally correct and morally intelligent people for something like that to happen, right? But yeah, so survival is not, you don't need money to survival anymore. So stuff is free. But then like you have this kind of stuff, like, flashes and entertainment and fun and all that. And we are smart, right? We are in very smart creatures. But like I said a million times now, we are not gods. We are not deities. We're not omniscience. We don't have infinite knowledge and infinite intelligence, right? And so you have this problem where suddenly you don't know, like, how much fun is appropriate to have, how much enjoyment is like enough fun. Because, like, to me, I'm thinking I would buy I will get so much Pokemon stuff if I had the money, right? So if it's free, I would obviously get like so much. And then I'd wonder, like, am I getting too much? Is this too much stuff for me? Am I being too greedy? And so what's the appropriate amount? What's, a good amount? What's the uh what should I get so that other people get the same amount too? And this is kind of it. Like, I should say, this is kind of impossible to do without a value system, without any kind of money system. So what I think we can learn from this, you could say, is that money, uh, as money itself, is not a bad thing. Is actually a clever thing invented by humans, and if used correctly, is very convenient and very useful. And the problem is when you give value to money, or too much value to money, could you say, when you treat it as too important, and when suddenly it goes above morals. If anything goes above morals, you're gonna have trouble. And you can clearly see this because in today's world, for a lot of people, power and money and stuff like that is above morals. So you know what that leads to. And I don't even need to tell you. So uh, nothing should ever go above morals, especially not money. Like, money is simply a tool. It's the language of value. You could say this. I hope I didn't steal that quote from anyone, but money is the language of value, right? Of how much things are worth. And if used correctly, then you have, like, I said that point, like, ideal reality earlier. Instead of not having to pay at all for groceries, you have a perfect enough amount of money to afford it. Like, let's say you could equate that today to, I don't know, someone that makes, people say in the US, like, six figures, right? People like that don't have to worry at all about groceries and rent or something like that, right? So you're in this position where groceries is, easy to get, food is easy to get. um like your house doesn't cost so much, your car doesn't cost so much, and where's the catch in this? Where first of all, you need the advanced technological progress. Not saying that we're not there yet, we are definitely like advanced enough for it, for this reality to be possible. But 1950 or 1800 or something, no, they didn't have enough technological advancement for it. Like it's impossible to have a reality like that, just because energy is too expensive, and food doesn't grow as efficiently and all of that. So that's the first catch, but we don't have this catch, we don't have this problem right now. So what's the other catch? Well, everyone needs to like do their part. And I mean this obviously in the sense of being morally correct and not valuing money more than it is, obviously. But I also mean working. And I'm not saying like 45, 50 hours a week working all weeks, no break. That's not possible. This is not, no. I mean working a normal job for decent hours. Like I'm not sure how it became a thing that like 40 hours a week is the norm, because that's a lot of hours. And what about 30, right? Because 8 hours a day for 5 days is a lot. It's definitely a lot. But if you make that like 6 hours a week, sorry, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, then suddenly I feel like it's a lot better. And if everyone does like that, like every single person has kind of this job. There are no people that just go around doing nothing all day. That unemployed friend type of meme. So they actually have stuff to do, and it doesn't have to be like a fucking 2 degrees engineer, nuclear engineer, or something like that. No, if if people work, I feel like working for 30 hours a week in a farm or in a field growing stuff, I don't think that's too heavy work. I really don't think so, if you get paid obviously accordingly. But if you have technological progress, if you have everyone working, then what that means is that you have so many resources. And with so many resources, you have so much money, because money is equivalent to to like resources. It's not a thing of itself. Money is simply translating the resource into a language that you can understand better, into a number. And suddenly you have this thing where everyone is rich, and people are going to tell you, no, not everyone can be rich, blah blah blah. That's no one can, not everyone can be rich, but everyone can definitely be wealthy, you could say. Living, having enough money to pay for stuff and not having to worry about like ever. There are so many people that are like, if I lose my job somehow, like I'm dead, I'm done, it's over. It should never be like this for everyone, for anyone, sorry. And that's not wealthy, that's barely surviving, basically. And so everyone can be wealthy if you have enough resources, and if there aren't people with an extraordinary amount of wealth. Because if everyone is wealthy, well, I kind of mean that everyone is on the same level. Almost everyone at least is on the same amount of wealth. You know, you can make the range like that the richest people that are there, like the top 1000 or something, are like 10 times as rich as the bottom 10% or something like that. This is not the reality. This is definitely not the reality. Like the top 1000 people in any country are many, 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 many times richer than the bottom 10% of the country. So if you say, okay, the bottom 10% earns like 1.5k a month, then the top 1000 people earn 15,000 a month, which I feel like is not absolutely crazy to say. Like that's not that big of a difference. And you know, the wealth you could say is there. Like you have the resources, you have so many resources because of technology, because of everyone like doing actually their job and all of that. So you have the stuff, and if you distribute it well, then yeah, everyone can live very well, definitely. And you know, I'm no, how do you say this, like economic genius or economics. I don't study economics. I don't study all that. You, you know, if you've studied economics for like 20 years and you think I'm crazy, you know, sure, you can think that absolutely, because and I didn't study then, because like I know I don't know a lot, right? These are technically all just theories of mine, but I think they make enough sense to definitely be possible. I don't know. You'll tell me what you think about it, but I definitely think that they're possible. And you know, the saying of not anyone can be rich. If everyone is rich and everyone is poor, is based off the fact that people give way too much importance about money. Like, uh, of course, by a logical standpoint, rich as an adjective means like above average. So if everyone is above average, then no one is above average. But no one needs to be above average if the average is good, you know. So yeah, there's that. And I also wanted to mention the saying that people always say that money doesn't buy happiness, right? And like I said, like at the start of the video, money is a representation of happiness. So yeah, money can buy happiness, absolutely. A part of it, as a percentage of it, but it absolutely can. And and you know, it's not a problem of money, it's a problem of people. People need to understand that you cannot buy all of your happiness with money. You cannot chase happiness by chasing money indefinitely. You can only do that for a short amount of like happiness, you could say, or a short amount of like uh, absolute money, in the sense that once you make it to a certain amount of wealth, then no, you cannot chase more happiness by chasing more money. That's it. You can already buy whatever you want, and wanting to be greedy and buy more expensive stuff is greedy. Is absolutely just greedy, and that's the problem. Where people say no, you cannot buy uh, you cannot buy happiness with money, because of course people only think in black and white, only think about the extremes, and don't think about the basic stuff. Like uh, of course money cannot buy every single source, every single out of happiness ever. Duh, of course, but like that's like in the definition of itself. Like you don't even need to mention it. If you think about that, then you're really narrow-minded and really dumb, in my opinion. Just like the people that say that tell you you can't do anything that everything you want. Like, of course you cannot do every single thing possible. You cannot go around killing everyone. You cannot go around blowing up buildings or something. Of course you cannot. Besides that, besides all of the immoral, stupid, idiotic stuff, then no, you can absolutely do whatever you want when it impacts only yourself. Of course you can do whatever you want. And people of course don't think like that, because they feel smart by telling you, but you cannot go around killing people. No, that's the basic minimum thing. Like, that's, you know, when people say that's the bottom of everything, that's the floor. Like, this is the earth's mantle, or earth's core. Like, that's so below that you don't even need to think about it. It's always there, and you always need to act like it's there. And you don't need to mention it, because if you do need to mention it, and you do need to, like, say, oh no, you cannot go around hurting people, all that, like, you're really stupid, really, really, really stupid. So same thing with money. You cannot buy every single source of happiness ever with money. You can buy some of it, you can have some of it, because you could say this as this is a flaw of humans. You could say that. You could totally say that we actually get, and by the way, you could say, like, happiness is literally like your brain releasing, like, telling your body to release hormones that make you feel good, right? So, like, a literal um biological definition of happiness, right? And you could say that's a flaw, because I need to explain what's a flaw. You could say that material things giving that reaction to us, and physical things giving that reaction to us, is a flaw, right? You could say that's bad, and maybe you can be right. Maybe it is like a flaw of us humans to say, to gain happiness from physical things, but I don't really feel like it's really smart to blame genetics and to blame biology. And I feel like we're smart enough, you know. We can try to be more smart and more, perfect, and more and more flawless. But then what you risk happening is we're just becoming robots, and that's not good at all. That's awful. So, this is a flaw of humans, and I'm happy to accept, because if used correctly, it can actually be a beautiful thing. How cute and how beautiful it is to give flowers to the girl that you love, right? And you'll obviously say, like, it's the thought that counts, is the fact that you're giving. It's not about the flowers, it's about the gift and all of that, but it's also about the flowers. I mean, it's also about the chocolates, and it's also about the sweets, it's also about the dinner, it's also about the plush and the blanket and the shirt and this, something like that, that matters too. Because if you don't love what your partner gives you, then it's still okay, it's still nice, but it's not as good. But if you love it, then it feels just so much better. And it's also good because knowing what your partner loves is, like, really, really good, really romantic, really loving, really beautiful, and all of that. So knowing what they like and making sure they get what they like is really beautiful. All of that stuff. So it's not entirely a bad thing. It's not entirely like, we should only gain happiness from other people, for example, or from beautiful actions or something. I feel like having happiness from physical things can be a good thing a lot of the time, and we need to preserve this. I don't think it's it would be a good thing for us to just eliminate any happiness from physical things. I don't think that it would be nice. It would be really great to lower it, definitely, from this current state of it. Like lower it a lot, but you know, both me and you know that's not going to happen. So whatever. Uh, I feel like almost all of my videos are like what should happen in theory, but it's not actually going to happen, which I don't think is really, which I don't think is like useless and boring and all that. I feel like talking about a perfect reality that is entirely possible, like there is nothing stopping us, is cool and it's nice and is, you know, and it can use to, you know, teach, I don't know, show other people what's possible, because uh many people say sometimes like, you know, that's not possible, that's a world without greedy people is impossible, and it's impossible only because the greedy people won't stop being greedy, but it's totally possible for every human to not be greedy. Like, it's not genetically locked behind something. No, it's, you know, if I can not be greedy, then anyone can not be greedy. So, you know, there's all of that. So what, oh, of course, what was all of this video for? To explain my poor financial choices, of course. But, you know, do this with your money. This is your lesson for this video. Do this thing and this thing. Buy things that you like, absolutely. But, and you know, you can say, okay, I want to get a job to buy more stuff that I like, but never use that to gain power on people or act, you could say, act badly in front of people because you're better, that you have more money. No, any amount of money does not make you worse or better than any other people ever. So uh, money is one of your sources of happiness. If you have a significant other, use money to make them happy. You know, if you have something that you love, like Chandelier and like Pokemon and like Chromie, then do that. If you love a game, you can spend money on that. You know, always be responsible, always be mature, always be intelligent. But yeah, after that, do whatever you want with your money, and make sure it's not wasted on stuff that you don't like. You know, use it for survival. That, like I said, reserve some of it to, first of all, live a decent life, and then you can use it for whatever you want, really. And that's the lesson of the video. You know, there's always a lesson at the end of these videos. So also, let me know if you like this. You know, if you like this background. I was noticing like in this position you can really see Gwen, right? Her name is Gwen. Look at how cute the hat is. Just like a chandelier. It's so adorable. But you cannot really see chandelier over there. This is Mega Chandelier also. The Mega Evolution they released really short ago, so that's really cool. Really cool. So, you know, that's it for the video. I hope, again, as always, what I said made sense, at least some of it. And if you have any objection, you know, uh, objection, that's wrong, you know, all of that. So let me know. If you agree with me, let me know. I'll be really happy to see it. And yeah, that's it. Bye everyone. Bye. Chandel shows up finally after many videos. Bye. Bye.